Just a few more seconds. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today, we do the 7th episode of Season 6. I am Ashfaq Ahmed, the anchor of PMI Chapter Exchange Program. I'm also the Vice President of Mumbai Chapter. This has been the mid-August, and there are a lot of events happening around the globe, national, international events, and also national functions. We see some of our key volunteers busy with other activities. But I do take pleasure in mentioning about the key volunteers of our program. I would like to acknowledge the current volunteers from the Chapter Exchange, Tao from the PMI Taiwan Chapter, Priscilla from PMI Sao Paulo, Brazil Chapter. Priscilla, if you are online, can you please wave to the crowd? I think she just got disconnected because of her mic, so she'll join in soon. Anita Kanojia from PMI Mumbai Chapter, Amod Pusalkar from PMI Mumbai Chapter, Anita W from PMI Poland Chapter, Sunil Kargaonkar, Rangaraj and Aman Sapswari from PMI Mumbai Chapter. Moving on to the next slide. What's in store for us? We have already done 7 events, and we are left with 4 more events for this academic year. So the next one is supposed to be in September 19th September, and we will share the link for those in the end of the program. Let me move on to the exchange effect map. Welcome to PMI Chapter Exchange Season 6 Event 7 today. Today we have our PMI friends joining in from 30 plus countries from 39 different chapters from across the globe, North America, Latin America, Europe, Africa, and Asia, plus many supporting chapters from the globe. We will close today's session with a registration link for the next session, which is happening on 18th September. Please wait to get an early access to the link. And for the exchange effect is today we have more than 30 countries with more than 3,000 members who have registered for the event. And we are slowly seeing that the members are increasing. Please, for our audience today, please say hello to each other and continue networking while we get started. You can update your profile in Zoom and LinkedIn details and share your LinkedIn details and connect with fellow attendees. This happens to be one of the excellent networking platform for you to connect with other like-minded chapter members. Today, we are excited to have more than 3,000 registrations from across 50 countries, from Alaska to New Zealand, and all countries and continents in between. So thank you everyone for their warm response to this initiative. This meeting is being recorded. If you are uncomfortable in any way, you may choose not to attend, else you are welcome to continue. Everyone here in this event are speaking on their individual capacity. Our views do not represent our organization view in any way. And like last time, like always, we would like to spotlight you as the audience. So participate actively in the event. Share a quote on the topic or on the event on our Chapter Exchange program. You can share this event in the chat box, and the best quote will be selected and presented at the end of the session. We will spotlight you, and you and your quote will be published on our attendee spotlight session in our Inside Exchange Nugget. So gear up and share your quote on the chat window. Just a snapshot of our program. Chapter Exchange program is a PMI chapter collaboration initiative. We have 39 partnering chapters and many supporting chapters on this program representing all regions that PMI is in today. We are also in discussion with other chapters whom we will onboard soon. PMI Chapter Exchange is a virtual community of chapter leaders, a community that transcends across countries, continents, and culture. And we would like to put it that way. Our vision is to evangelize cross-chapter collaboration and encourage cultural diversity. It's all about teamwork, co-creating monthly events to bring diverse perspective to our chapter members, spurring networking and collaboration opportunities. And by doing this, we are building a community to share good practice within and external to the program. This is this is why you will notice chapter from diverse background participating in this program, because we truly believe diverse connection leads to innovative solutions. This is the exchange effect. This was published a few years ago. We are working on the next version of the exchange effect. Let me take a moment to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Lucila Dotto. She is a PMI Global Head of Sustainability. As a Global Head of Sustainability at PMI and lead for PMI GPM joint venture. GPM stands for Green Project Management joint venture. This role focuses on embedding sustainability and regenerative, just a minute, regenerative practices into the project management discipline. This role, I'll repeat, this role focuses on embedding sustainability and regenerative practice into the project management discipline. By collaborating across teams, the aim is to transform intentions into measurable actions that align with the quadruple bottom line: prosperity, people, planet, and purpose. I'm sure going to hear more about this. With over 2 years leading PMI European community and prior experience in global cultural transformation at KPMG, their expertise spans sustainability integration, organizational development, and leadership enablement, committed to fostering collaboration and purpose-driven growth. Their work empowers organizations to create meaningful impact in society through strategic alignment and actionable work frameworks. Lucila, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for inviting me to present at this initiative that I think it represents the best of PMI, because PMI superpower is the community, and this is community in action. And look at us, we are from different parts of the world, connected through one same goal, that is learn and elevate the profession. So it's a big kudos to you, the participants of these events and the ones that bring this connection to life. I just arrived in Africa for the Africa Global Summit, the LIM and the Executive Council. So also kudos to the Africa region. And I know that today is a special day for India. So also for our Indian colleagues, like a special mention to a special and important day, Independence Day. So let's start, if we can move to the next slide. Perhaps some of you already know that last April, PMI joined forces with Green Project Management. Green Project Management has been a leader in the sustainability and regeneration space when it comes to project management. And why we join forces with Green Project Management? Because the global progress on sustainable, environmental, social, and economic developments are insufficient. We know the world that we are living, and we know that we need to do more. That it's not enough to keep the world as it is. We need to heal the world when it comes to the planet, when it comes to the people, how we work between each other. So we need to contribute and make a positive impact through our roles. And we know that for many organizations, the sustainability topic is really, really important, but sometimes there is a gap between the strategy and the execution. People and leaders find sustainability super important, but how we make it real, how we make it practical. And that's the reason PMI joined forces with Green Project Management to bring sustainability to the project professional through equipping our project professionals with the tools, the resources, and the standards to close that gap between the strategy and the execution. And we want to bring our purpose to life. You probably know the PMI purpose is we maximize project success to elevate the world. If we want to elevate the world, we can do it through the projects that we lead, because every project has the ability to be really impacting the short term, but thinking in the long term as well. And we want to be the leaders in the integration of sustainability and regeneration into the project profession, and also to be bringing the project management expertise to the global sustainability transformation, because there are many people that are experts in sustainability, but we have our unique strength, that is the project management skills. That is how change happen in the organization. So we are uniquely positioned to bring sustainability to life and make it really practical and real. So if we go to the next slide, please. So all of you here know, and we have been focused on the triple constraint: the cost, the time, the scope, how we act in a compliance, and how we make our projects successful. But when we talk about sustainable project management, we think about value creation. Value is the center of what we are doing. So time, cost, and scope, it's not enough. We need to think about those P that I have on the right side of the screen. That is the people that we impact with our projects, the planet, the prosperity, the product, and the processes. And this is one of the key strengths of green project management. It's a tool that is called the P5, and it considers how the project that we are leading connects these different 5 components: the people, the planet, prosperity, product, and processes. So the intention is to move beyond the triple constraint, the time, cost, and scope, to really be focusing on value, how the project that I'm leading creates value for the organization, for society, and ultimately for the world. So this, in essence, is the summary of what sustainable project management is about. It's thinking about value and thinking through value through these 5 lenses, that is people, planet, prosperity, product, and processes. So if we go to the next slide, please. Perhaps most of you have read the project success report that PMI launched last year. If you haven't, please, homework, go to the project success report. And the key insight is about value creation, that project professionals are invited to move beyond the triple constraint and to be really value creators. And it's an invitation to the profession to achieve more, to expand our perspective, to really be managing stakeholders' expectations in the value creation space. And one of the key insights when it comes to sustainability is that the projects that have a social benefit, a sustainable benefit, are more likely to be perceived as successful. So we did this, we mapped different projects to the United Nations Development Goals, and we found that the ones that are considering a social and sustainability impact are going to be delivering more value and ultimately are going to be ranked more successfully. So this is also an invitation for us to think how our projects contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals. Yes, let's move to the next slide. Yes. So I was saying that one of the key things that I want to highlight for today is this methodology that is called the P5 Standards. Here I have a QR code. You can have the standards for free. And essentially, perhaps this slide reminds you as secondary school when we were in the physics class to the periodic table of the elements. Well, it's more or less the same methodology, but it's how we really bring the sustainable development goals to life in our projects. So all the elements and all the sustainable development goals are mapped to these P5 that I mentioned: people, planet, prosperity, processes, and product. Get the standard. You can have it for free because this is a good way to start kind of like connecting to sustainability and bringing it to life. And then let's move to the next slide, please. So PMI, all of you know this very well because you are the superpower of PMI. PMI is about learn, connect, and give back. And we have a huge opportunity. So where to start? If you are interested in sustainability, if you are new to the sustainability space, if you are not new but you want to formalize your expertise, we just launched 2 weeks ago on the 31st of July, the GPM B exam. So here you have a small QR code, but you can do the Sustainable Project Management e-learning that is available in the PMI website, and you can get the GPMB certification. You can be certified. It's a new PMI and GPM certification. It has 12 PDUs, and as you can see on screen, the exam is 75 questions done in 90 minutes in the person view environment that you know, because it's PMI methodology. So you can get certified. And then we also offer some supported assets that are for free. That is the P5 standards that I referenced before, and the competence standard in sustainability. So it's an invitation to use the standards, to use the competence standards, and also, why not, to get certified. It's a great complement to the PMP or the CAPM, because you have that strength of the project management profession, and you bring that additional insights in how you can bring the sustainability to your projects from initiation to closure. So if we go to the next slide, just going deeper, if you want to explore in the PMI website, here is the QR code. But the intention is that this certification empowers project professionals to think about sustainability from the initiation. So start strong, align your projects with environmental and social goals from day one. It also helps in the planning and execution. So plan smarter, reduce waste, and then it also helps in terms of the life cycle thinking. So thinking beyond delivery, how you make impact, how you measure and report your impact. So all the different phases of the project are considering through these sustainability lenses. And it's the newest PMI GPM certification. So an invitation to have more people certified in the room. So if we go to the next slide, what are kind of like the key differentiators of this certification is you get the standards, so you can really distinguish yourself as a sustainable leader and formalize your expertise. It's a globally recognized certification, so it stands out for employers and it's globally respected. It's backed up by both PMI and GPM, so it is unique in that sense. And it's competency-based, really practical, really hands-on, really giving you the tools aligned with ISO certification, and it offers flexible learning options. So you can do the e-learning and then you can get certified. So this is about the newest certification in sustainability. As you can see, this shows the intention of PMI to be really leading in the sustainable space, because we really need to act now, but think in the impact for the future. If we go to the next slide, in the learning space, I also want to remind you that we have like thought leadership in PMI. I mentioned the project success report from last year as a homework. You need to go there and review it. We also produce a thought leadership report in sustainability and artificial intelligence, in that tension and integration in the sustainability that is trending topic, and AI, and you in the QR code can have access to these reports. And we're constantly evolving the knowledge through our thought leadership report. But the most important piece, we always bring community people, because PMI is about community generated knowledge. So this is another resource available for the people interested in sustainability. If we go to the next slide, I said at the beginning that PMI is about learning, about connection, and community is our superpower. So probably everyone in the room is a PMI member, but if you're not, you can become one and be part of this amazing community that is covered all over the world. And I think one key thing that I want to mention is like chapters are playing a key role in bringing sustainability voice to their local communities. And now we are in the process of recruiting some sustainability champions. The kickoff with these people will be on the 2nd of September. So an invitation really to be being part of this. And then I want to celebrate the chapters. I want to celebrate all the chapters, but we always use the opportunity for the chapters that are landing milestones from 5 years to 50 years. And we are planting trees for each chapter that celebrates a milestone, 1,000 trees. And we have 61 chapters this year celebrating specific university anniversaries. So it's also an opportunity to bring sustainability as a key front and center. But the most important piece is sustainability is go green, but it's not only the planet, it's the people, it's the prosperity, it's also how we think in strategies that produce value in the long term. It's not only about the planet aspect. Of course, we want to celebrate fruit trees, but sustainability is so much more. And the important message that I want to highlight today is project professionals are uniquely positioned to bring change, sustainable change. It's not only about planting trees, it's how we use our project management skills to deliver value that lasts. And the last, or one of the last slides, as I'm wrapping up my presentation for today, if we move to the next one. So perhaps some of you know, perhaps some others don't, but we have if we go to the slide, yeah, thank you so much. So we are committed to the United Nations Development Goals, and we are working through project management without borders. Perhaps some of you already heard. That is how we use the project management skills to support nonprofit organizations. So how we give back through our skills, that's a possibility. The PMI Education Foundation that is turning 35 years, so we are celebrating the birthday in terms of how we do pro bono work, and we partner to support youth. And of course, the local initiatives that many chapters and organizations are doing to elevate the world. So we have, as we said, PMI is a great platform to give back, and we can use the power of our experience, our project management skills to elevate the world. So if we go to the final slide, that is my background. So it's an invitation to remind us about the value and the beauty of this community, the superpower of our chapters, many representatives here today, the opportunity to keep learning and keep upskilling ourselves, an invitation to become certified. It's a beautiful certification, the newest from PMI and GPM, and to give back through the projects that we lead. Every project can elevate the world, and you have a huge responsibility and a huge opportunity to elevate the profession and to make the world a better place. So thank you so much for inviting me today, and we stay in touch.
Thank you, Lucila. Thank you so much. That was an excellent, very crisp presentation. And I'm sure our audience learned so many new things today. I'm sure many of us were not aware that there is a green project management as well. So thank you so much for sharing that knowledge with us, and also a certification which is available between PMI and GPM for all our members to take. So that was really a good insight for all of us to be aware of. Thank you very much for sparing time and sharing your knowledge with us. And yeah, I think that's all for, you can stay back if you have some time for the question answer. Else, thank you. We're really grateful that you were able to make it for us. Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
So moving on to the next segment of the session, we have an upcoming panel discussion. Rangaraj, you want to go ahead and
yeah, can you continue yourself?
Yeah.
Can you continue? Thank you.
Okay, you want me to share the screen, or you are okay?
No, you can continue.
Okay, let me just share it again. A moderator for. You able to see my screen, Rangaraj?
No.
Yes. Please come up.
Okay. Go ahead, please. Rangaraj, you want to introduce our moderator for the day?
Yeah, I would like to introduce our moderator today. I'm very happy to introduce him. His name is Biren Parat. He is currently director at CRISI, and he has PMP volunteer of PMP South Asia campaign, and he is part of the PMP Mumbai chapter also. And he has 27 years plus years of experience in data lectures program and 15 plus years of in PMP as volunteer. And he did some graduation B computer science, and he did some PMP certification course also. And he has some basic cloud experience, and he did certificate in independent director also. So I would like to request to Biren to take care of further event.
So we also share on the screen, we have the LinkedIn post for Biren. Just to add to what Rangaraj said, that Biren's experience spans across across complex digital transformation and implementation program across retail and corporate banking, as well as data lakehouse domains. He enjoys talking about project leadership, fintech, and digital transformation, and has delivered more than 70 talks in public domain. In addition to being an author, he's also a marathoner. I've seen him running half marathon and a certified independent director, an equity angel investor, an adventurous sports enthusiast, and an active PMI volunteer. He is also a part of our champion program. His several podcasts and interviews have been published in the social media. Thank you, Giren, for joining us today and spending your time with us. And I know you have been a moderator with us and you do excellent moderation. So the floor is all yours. I'll just stop sharing. Oh,
Thank
no,
you,
I have to share. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Rangraj, and thank you, Ashfaq. Really appreciate. Okay, so here we go for our panelist, the prominent panelist having a superb experience. Here we have Abdur Rahman. He is a senior lecturer in project management analytics. He is a founder and co-founder and CEO of data-driven Salankar. And he's obviously a volunteer with the PMI Lahore chapter. He's having a good experience in project management, agile project management, and engineering sales and service. And he's a PhD scholar in project management. Wonderful, Abdur. It's really great honor to have you over here. And he has done his MS project management from Australia, and he's obviously an engineer from Lahore. So welcome, Abdur, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
Wonderful. Our second panelist is Henry Lee. He is in current role sort of a consultant and trainer for Green Project Consultant and Trainer for Sustainpact Asia. He's part of a board of PMI Malaysia chapter, and he's driving sustainability project excellence. He's also external advisory committee of Sunway University in engineering department. And his experience spans across 15 years across the project management for the private and public sector. And he's consultant to organization in Southeast Asia, and obviously he's a speaker for project management. He's holding a bachelor's degree from Monash University, and he holds multiple certification, including the Green Project Management certification. Welcome, Henry, and I think we'll really love to listen to your views on the theme. Thank you. Our third panelist is Maru Gonzalez. She's consulting director and part of a volunteer of PMI chapter Baijo. She's also founder of the PMI chapter Baijo. And she's having 30 years in the project management in space of project programs and PMO implementation. And she's a international speaker, keynote speaker for project management, business strategy, and leadership. It's really wonderful to know that she has the 5 bestseller books, all of them on the project management and leadership. Maru, I'll love to read those books. She is also MBA and Master in physiotherapy. She is holding multiple certification from PMI, including PMI, PMP, PGM, PBA, SCP, DSSM. And she's again a Green PM advisor, Risk Agile, and certified coach. Welcome, Maru. Hi, our last panelist is Ntokozo Siziba. She is the Executive Assistant to Group Chief Executive Officer of ZB Financial Holdings. She is also ESG leader with them. She is the Vice Chairperson of Zimbabwe Motor Industry Pension Fund. She has a 7 years experience in the legal practice and 4 years in the financial services sector of overseeing the project management. She is a LLB from South Africa, MBA from Salford, University of Salford, and she is having ESG leadership skills for transition to sustainable business. Thank you, Ntokozo. Welcome to PMI Chapter Exchange. Are you able to hear us?
I think she has some problem with the video. We'll check with her.
Okay, no problem. Okay, fine, great. welcome all panelists, and thank you for joining us.
And Biren, I think Abhishek Sharma from PMI India is also there. So if there are some questions that we would that he can address, or if there are some questions for Lucila, then he can take it and then help us get those answers.
Sure. Thanks, Abhishek, for joining us.
Thank you, Biren. I'll just go mute and also.
Yeah. Are we? Is Entoko able to hear us? She's not. Hello. Okay, so let's start with first question to Henry. Henry, what does sustainability mean in the context of project management? If you can throw some light on that, that would be great. Henry?
Hi. Yeah, it's a very good questions. Thank you for the questions. So for me, sustainability is actually something that all of us, we are doing in our work, in our daily life. We want to sustain our planet. So put it in a simple way, it's just that in project management, what we want to do is add a layer of sustainability on top of every processes, the so-called 49 processes that we are doing. So there's sustainability to me. At the end, we want to get a sustainable result, project deliverables.
Great. Yeah, so basically sustainable project management is whereby we are trying to maintain the balance, the way Lucilo mentioned about those P5, right? Whereby we have all this product process and all those are balanced one. And that is a kind of sustainability. Entoko, are we able to hear you? Hello, Entoko? Entoko, can you hear us? Okay, I think she's having some problems. So let's move to the next question. Henry, so I'll just also ask you a following question also, that how can project managers incorporate the triple bottom line into the decision making as a part of a project management?
Oh, okay. For this part, right, it's actually, let's take an example in Malaysia. So in Malaysia here, the key point here is for the project manager to have the awareness of sustainability. Because throughout the project management, we may need to make thousands or few thousands decisions throughout the processes. So basically, it's the awareness of the project manager to understand that they shall have this sustainability mindset when they do the decision. So there's something is very important, it's about the awareness of sustainability.
Okay, great. Abdur, you want to add anything on this? Abdur, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Hi. So do you have any views on this, how to incorporate triple bottom line in the decision making of the project management?
Mainly the awareness of like what we can do for the people, for the planet, and then for the prosperity overall. So when we see that triple bottom line is our schedule, cost, and quality, so it makes sense that these two like the three triple constraints should be mapped together, so we can have a more impactful execution and delivery of projects.
Okay. Yeah. So just for the audience benefit, basically, see, single bottom line means that Friedman's theory was that, stakeholder theory was that company ownership specifically now focuses on the profit for the stakeholders. Okay. So that is called single bottom line. And triple bottom line is where people, planet, and prosperity, all three are considered and balanced. Okay, so that is a kind of a triple bottom line is a sort of a well-known terminology in the field of green project management. Okay, and it expands the business success metrics to include contribution to environmental health, social well-being, and obviously a balanced economy. Okay, so that is kind of a triple bottom line, which is sort of a concept in the green project management. Okay, so moving on, Abdur, you also want to add any examples of green initiatives in project planning and execution?
Okay, so some examples for execution and planning and execution.
project planning and execution, or whichever way. I mean, in the green project management area, if you have any example, can you please share so that now people can relate to it, and now they can try to see how they can incorporate into their in their day-to-day projects.
Okay, so with this one, my perspective is it should be a more a life cycle, whole life cycle approach. For me, it's like it starts from our business case and to a project charter in our initiation phase. So it is not just about planning and execution, but all around our whole project life cycle. So for, moving into the planning phase, we need to make sure that we should have a governance structure in place, first of all. That which ISO certifications, for example, like for quality product delivery 9001, and for environmental performance 14001. These certifications will allow us for a quality product which is more sustainable. And then, of course, on organizational level, and environmental performance should be in place. But then moving forward, we should be building our processes and procedures and incorporating environmental and social responsibility factors. I think so, like our impact matrix given by GM is really well structured, and it can be tailored to projects, specific projects. So it can be tailored because we used it with my students at UCP Business School, and we used it, and we saw that for IT projects you don't have to, because the planning part, it becomes very shrinked because there are not many things that we can plan on the planet part for when we are dealing with IT projects. But overall, like prosperity and people, that is the main aspect. And I believe that if we are actually putting more emphasis on prosperity and people, how we are going to manage, then definitely the plan comes in. And then, of course, PMI's PMBOK 8, which is still to be delivered. So it included procurement and AI. So procurement, responsible procurement is very important. So when we are planning for projects, responsible procurement and how our suppliers should be following the compliances they need to be following, it is really important. And then we move to execution. Of course, when we go to execution, I believe methodologies of project management like lean would be most and here reusable things, recycling, and then reducing environmental impact that will come in, and obviously like manufacturing or doing the work with a very lean approach and reducing the waste overall. And then I will add here, monitoring and control is really important. That like our fourth process of our project management here. Of course, like environmental performance is with embedding co-efficiency into organizations' processes. So here, organizations need to be more aware that they are more flexible and more adaptable, which is also called as organizational agility. So organization needs to understand that they become more aware that with the changing of environment and the risks that we are facing, and I believe like even the underdeveloped countries are facing major risks in these cases. The companies and the organizations should be more agile and more adaptable to incorporate these environmental performance factors in and to measure them throughout the life cycle.
Okay, great. So, okay, so as I can see that some of the areas where green project management examples are there is like something like having an energy efficient some site design or plant, okay, renewable energy adoption, waste reduction, that is lean, resource conservation, and obviously recycling some of the waste or water or those kind of things, and obviously using some of the solar panels and green energy, right? So all those things. Great. I mean, so Maru, you want to add something over here on the green initiatives or examples of green initiatives?
Yes, of course. Yes, I think it's extremely difficult in some cases to dedicate time, and I think it's important to be part of it. And in some of my clients, for example, they are trying to consider providers with some, at least some initiatives related with sustainability. For example, select or prefer local providers, or in some cases it is because government initiatives are pushing a little bit to be one of my clients, it's certified now as a clean company, and it is a Mexico initiative, and I think it could generate more consciousness with the employees. I think it's important to be part of it as a culture, and in some cases, for example, paperless and small things could generate more consciousness, and with it more impact, because in some cases, in my perspective, it is difficult to generate this consciousness at of course activities related with sustainability when we have less resources, when we are thinking in survive in some cases. And for this reason, some more strong companies are generating now more impact with great activities and with less with smaller activities. And little by little, we are moving on in this aspect of sustainability.
Wonderful. Great. Thanks for sharing insights. Moving on, Henry, can you throw some light on how leadership can play a role in green project management or green project culture within the organization or the company? Henry?
Yeah, thank you for the questions. So basically for the leadership part, what I observe in this Southeast Asia, because I'm the consultant and this trainer in this Southeast Asia context. So basically, the ownership is very important. So as a leader, if let's say we want to drive for this sustainable green project management to get a sustainable result, it's very important that we as a leader, we own this sustainability. Without owning a sustainability, actually there is no story after this or after that. So ownership, and also once you have the ownership, right, we can make intentional decision for this green project management. Whatever decision that we make throughout the processes, we can make sustainable decision, and finally, only you can become the change maker. So everything comes from inside of the leader itself.
Great. Yeah, fully agree with you. So particularly leadership needs to maybe drive it, and at times now this may require convincing the stakeholders that there can be some impact on cost, or there can be some impact on the schedule, because you are trying to now develop or whatever sustainable project management. So yeah, that there will be those kind of things, and those will be challenges which obviously leadership team has to manage and convince the stakeholders. I mean, yeah, so agree with you. Great. I mean, thanks for sharing the view. Do we have Antogozo on the bridge on the Zoom call? Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you. Great. Yeah, welcome. I think we missed you in the first part of it.
Yes,
Yeah, so
thank
since you
you.
are here, we'll let's like to know that now. If sustainability is expensive, okay, then how do you now manage the cost savings in the long run? Okay, because I mean, sustainability or maybe going for any sustainable materials will be a little bit expensive compared to whatever normal material, right? So how do you manage those kind of aspects in the sustainable project management?
Okay, thank you, Brian. So I'll maybe take pointers from Henry Lee. I'll start from there.
Yeah.
So firstly, the issue of having leadership driving the issues around green project management. Then you develop a culture. And then implementing ESG on its own, sustainability practices within projects, definitely. At inception, it definitely takes up resources. But in the long run, I think it's in our organization, I can give an example that in the long run, you're saving costs. I'll give an example for energy. If you do an a solar plant, for an example,
Right.
to put in that solar plant will probably you'll have millions of that. But in the long run, for generation of power in future projects, the cost is reduced for years to come. So I think it's a balance. Once leadership has got buy-in to say, okay, when we're doing our project management, we're already factoring those costs, but looking at a long-term perspective to say, going forward, as you're doing these projects, you've already saved on energy costs. You're probably maybe even feeding into different grids, depending on the type of project. If it's an energy project, the community benefits from it. So I think it's a balance. So if there's buy-in from leadership to say, okay, is what doing these projects, even from the stakeholders, your sponsor or your client, to say these are the costs which can be incurred in the project, but in the long run, these are the benefits, and the benefits extending to the community and environment governance. So it then covers the triple P bottom line, whilst the projects achieving the business objectives, but also protecting the people, communities benefiting from it, and also compliance as well in the long run. So I think it's a balancing act. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Great. Yeah, so meanwhile to the audience, if you have any questions, you can post it into the chat and our team will pick up and maybe we'll ask to the panelist. If you want to direct any question to any particular panelist, let us know, put it down in the chat box. Okay, moving on. Abdur, I'd like to hear your views on how project manager can influence stakeholders to support sustainable project goals. So while we discuss that, yes, leadership team will play a big role in driving the culture, but how can project manager influence the stakeholders? Abdur, you are there? We cannot hear you.
I heard your question.
Yeah.
Okay. So stakeholders are people as well. So we need to take care of them, and it is project manager's responsibility and also a duty to give back and be mindful that he or she is going to work with the stakeholders to incorporate these things even in the business case. So like when we are actually doing a business scope analysis, at that moment we can actually be mindful that we are going to incorporate our ESG and like into that. So for me, I think so. Like recently, I visited this another panel discussion. Well, I wasn't on the panel, but I was in the audience. It was about AI and Gen AI's use in our IT industry in Pakistan. So like they discussed that how AI is going to replace the job of a business scope analyst. So I think so. Like if we can automate with the help of AI this thing that incorporate these standards and this impact analysis metrics into the development of business cases. that would be very helpful. And I think so, like the people who are actually doing prompt engineering and all that, they can do it much effectively. Then we have this aspect for stakeholders. We can show them a data-driven story. So we can show them a story. We can use, for example, like earned value analysis. We can show them a predictive view of how these sustainable practices and the impact metrics is going to benefit and provide them the social return on investment, which some people think is just like, okay, most of the people are like, because as Notokozo spoke about that culture. So we think that it is extra work and oh my God, we have to do so much work. No, not this. We are already doing, project managers being like, we are already doing so many things and now this. So, but I think so, like we can use leverage AI and these, we can have for example, recently, like our chapter president, Dr. Khalid, actually made a whole calculator of EVM with showing predictive analysis. It can be done with Google AI Studio nowadays. You can create a small app or a dashboard easily, just giving prompts. So I think so these tools can facilitate and in giving a good storyboard for our stakeholders to see that these are not only talks, but also something which is impactful for their future, for the business future, and then of course, the people and the planet.
Yep.
I
Great,
think so.
great.
That's pretty much. I guess I gave the answer properly.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, I think good. So I think also basically when you want to influence stakeholders, okay, you may need to show something, data-driven, some insights. Okay, that also can be generated and maybe whatever presented to stakeholders. And maybe at times you can also mention not disbenefits, okay, not benefits, but disbenefits of not going for sustainable project management. Okay, so that also you can just present it to stakeholders, maybe to influence them.
Yes.
So those can be some of the things also. Maru, I'd like to also hear your views on this, how project managers can influence, stakeholders.
Yes, of course. Talking about stakeholders, we can remember that there are a lot of stakeholders with different interests. And if we are talking or thinking about leadership management, it's important to generate consciousness about the benefits, because we need resources. And talking about the timing of these benefits could be, in some cases, challenge, because if you are the owner of the money and you need to wait more in order to obtain your return, it's important to sell other benefits. And in my experience, it's important that if we generate this consciousness in management, in the owner of money owners and sponsors, it's easier to obtain this impact in a more great way. For example, one important, in my experience, for example, if the sponsor is convinced that sustainability is important, they generate an example. And as Henry mentioned before, leadership is important, and leadership it's modeling with examples. And if we show to everybody that it is important, it will be important for everybody. I mean, talking about be creative to obtain benefits related with reputation, for example. Or nowadays, in some cases, companies are not really convinced or about the final, not only convinced about the final benefits, they are thinking about the reputation benefits of being sustainable. And it is a start, and it's better than nothing. And I think talking about the real benefits with, for example, team members, could generate more creative ideas in order to be sustainable with the deliverables, but also be sustainable with the processes. I mean, project management processes that generate benefits and sustainability during the execution of the project.
Yes, wonderful. So that's a very good point. The reputation is nowadays of a prime importance, and that is that carries a lot of goodwill, or I'll say brand value. Okay, so a lot of companies are also trying to do it, maybe from a reputation perspective also, and sometimes they also try to be like a sustainable one, so that now they can be a vendor to a sustainable company, as well as they will also look for a sustainable vendors for their outsourcing. So that's a very good point. And yes, I think you're right, Maru, that it's really important, and it's very prime important to now ensure that stakeholders are influenced or rather convinced. Okay, so one more question to you, Maru, is that how can project managers now drive sustainability in the resource constraints environment? Okay, I mean, there is always a pressure now in the cost and on the survival, right? So how can project managers now drive this sustainability culture or measure? I mean, not project manager, even the leaders also. So what is your view on this?
Well, it's an interesting question, because I think as a leader, it's important to first of all understand the idea, because I think that it's common to be confused related with green project management and projects that the deliverable are green. And in some cases, we are thinking only about generate some savings or plant some trees, and it is not the main idea. The idea is try to reduce the resources, and try to think in a more global way in which we are responsible. I think this consciousness could be could have a great impact when we are clear that we can generate a great impact, positive or negative. If you feel responsible of the project, for example, in the case of manufacturing industries, if we have more consciousness that if we generate a manufacturing process that we generate a lot of impact, positive or negative impact for 10 years, probably we will be more engaged with generate a better process. We could think about a raw material impact. And with that, I think when we have a more impact, it's easier to think, at least to be more creative, because, for example, in Mexico, in Latin America, and I'm sure in other countries, it's quite difficult to balance, as we mentioned before, balance cost, time, the benefit, the profit with these ideas. It's difficult because in some countries we are thinking in survive, and I think only with great leadership, it's easier to manage all these restrictions. it's difficult, but at the end, we are all together in the same planet, and we have only one planet. And when we think in that, I think people could be more. We could have more interest to change and manage these impacts, because for example, I saw questions related with oil and gas, and I think oil and gas companies has a lot of money and the reputation in oil and gas companies are important. I think it could be a great start to generate this consciousness.
Yep, great. Thank you for your views. Ntokozo, you want to add something on this? Now, how project manager can drive sustainability in a resource-constrained environments? Hello,
Yes,
Ntokozo? Yeah, you
definitely.
here?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Sorry, I dropped off a bit. Connectivity is just, yeah, something else.
Okay.
But when I look at the aspect of resources, I think right now where the world is moving, they are promoting the circular economy, where you are reusing, recycling, and so forth.
Right.
So if those principles can be incorporated at the entire project life cycle, I think it then strikes the balance of costs and saving. So I think that adoption into project management is likely to be a win for the project managers. I'll give you an example. Say if you're procuring resources, maybe if you're in a building project. I think recently in Zimbabwe, what I've seen, there are bricks which are made out of plastics, and they are quite cheaper than the normal bricks from cement and so forth. So that circular economy, where you look at the entire project cycle, see where you can fit in the reuse, recycle. So I think it then promotes saving the costs towards when you're looking at a project. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so moving on to Henry. Hi, Henry. Like to know how can project manager balance sustainability with traditional metrics like scope, time, and cost? You like to share some views over here, Henry?
Sure. I would like to share this from the perspective of this project supply chain, because for a project manager, if let's say we want to monitor or plan something or execute a project in a horizontal way, usually the one is not a problem, because the maturity level of this sustainability in the same level of organization basically is kind of like similar. It's very easy, everyone on the same page horizontally. But the thing is, when it comes to this vertical down, one project actually is connecting a lot of this supply chain from this project owner initiator to the contractor, to the supplier, to the enterprise vendor. A series of the company were involved. So how can we as a project manager really balance the sustainability? Because yes, for the top tier company on the top, basically we know what sustainability, we are balancing it. It's just that for our this SME, the small medium enterprise, they are not on the same page like us, which already covered the sustainability, a layer of that. They'll mainly focus on the triple constraint, for example, the time, cost, and also this scope. So what we need to do is actually to create the awareness and then bring them to involve. That means starting from our top tier all the way down to the bottom level, so that the whole project supply chain can be really benefited and then really works towards this sustainability. So I'll give you an example. So in PMI Malaysia chapter here, what we are doing right now is we initiate one, we call it a field trip. All right, it's a sustainability field trip. So in this early of October, we are going to go to this one of the award-winning this project in our this 2024 Project Manager Award Malaysia. So it's in Sarawak. It's a Kuching Urban Transportation System. It's a tram powered by hydrogen. So the first one in Southeast Asia. So we are going to bring the whole team to go there. This team, including of all these FME or even the project initiator from different industry, to go to this particular award-winning sustainability project to learn and then to bring back all these sustainable best practices to their own company. Then only we can build a really sustainable project supply chain. At the end of the day, we can balance horizon and also vertical part. So that's how we can try to balance the sustainability for the whole project supply chain. So that's my some sharing on that. Thank you.
Okay. Good. So moving on, Abdul, question for you. How can green project management be? I mean, my green project management is kind of a measured or successful, and now how can I evaluate compared to maybe other projects in my industry or in my company? Can you share some view, Abdur? Are you there?
Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, you were breaking a little bit, but what I have understood that you are asking how we can track my year our green project management efficiency.
So let me just repeat my question. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, how can green project management be measured and evaluated? Okay, how can you compare it with maybe other projects in your organization or similar projects in the industry? How can you do that measurement? Can you share some views on this?
Okay, sounds good. So like, first of all, I suppose like we need to showcase our real change in the terms of percentage of compliances, that how much in each area, how much percent you are complying on the sustainable goals. So I in this perspective, one of my students, Taha, he came up with this suggestion that we need to work very closely to human resource department. And I was like, okay, why? Because I said like, because the thing is, when we see our people prosperity, so these are the two main things which are actually influencing a lot of our planet activities. So working with each company's HR, so they need to understand if they are incorporating if they're incorporating, and then also measuring if the compliancing is done, and if the employees and the project team members, they are even getting educated and trained uh, on tracking our sustainable or P5 goals with our triple constraint, which is cost, schedule, and quality. So if that's what is happening, then okay, good. Number one is that I'm repeating that we need to work with our HR mainly, that our people in our organization are understanding what P5 is and how they can, if they are tracking it and then showing it in a percentage form of compliance. Then second one is transparency. Normally, like organizations are not so transparent at the end of the day. So what if they need to show the data? If they're not showing the data, then of course there's no point in saying which company is more sustainable and what is their impact. The problem comes mainly in our underdeveloped countries. This is the biggest issue. Recently in Pakistan, our SCCP, as our stock exchange, the companies which are above 14 million Pakistani rupees are actually being compliant, that at the end of the day they need to submit ESG disclosure, which is on the GRI index. It is our global reporting initiative. It mainly on GRI index. It is quite similar than the impact metrics that GPM has created, but it is like shorter version of it. So it makes the industries and the organizations answerable if they are doing so. But again, because of the lack of governance structure and the transparency of what the data, I suppose the real change is still questionable in the underdeveloped countries from my perspective. But of course, as I lived in Australia, so like countries like Australia, they can actually get the data much more effectively rather than as compared to Pakistan or other countries.
Great, thanks. Thank you, Abdur. So meanwhile, we have a question from the audience from Newton Oliveria. And the question is that the prosperity as a common sense leads people. Okay, so Abdur, this question I'd like to ask you only. Okay, so this question is that prosperity as a common sense leads people to think of a greater profits and wealth, right? But isn't there a conflict between prosperity and sustainability? Shouldn't green initiatives be linked to reducing consumption and consequently the profits of companies and individuals? So maybe Abdur, can you share some views on this?
Yes, of course. In a very centralized type of organization or businesses, like landlord businesses and other things, like this is a perception that we should meet our profitability targets or financial targets rather than track these sustainability goals. It is seen that it is upfront a big investment. Of course, as Maru said, that you need resources to implement these things, right? So the resources is not only money, it is also people and time. You need to hire them, train them, and then get these things done. But of course, uh, as we are human beings, we are greedy people, so we think of the short term and we don't think of a long term. But of course, again, here I will emphasize again the governance. And if the governance structure is in place, even the centralized businesses will be answerable and they will implement. And again, like last question, we understood that we need to tell these stakeholders, but showing them what would be the projection and doing so like it's not just like okay it's not just like they're emptying their pockets in vain, but it is actually going to help them and their people and their country, and then obviously all around the planet in the longer goal.
Great. So I'll also like to add view over here is that yes, I mean when you are trying to be a sustainable project, okay, obviously there will be cost to it, and it obviously will delay the profit and now stakeholders to let go of some of the things, okay. But in overall, it has been noticed that now if the companies are matching the sustainability, their overall profit increases by 30% in a long term, medium to long term. Okay, so in short term, it might look like now we are not meeting the profitability or objectives, but because of the sustainability, it has been noticed and it has been also proven in some research, whereby now ultimately it helps the company in the long term, right? So that is yeah. Okay, so moving on, what is the time? We have 10 minutes, right? Ashfaq, yes. Okay, so moving on, maybe I'd like to ask Henry, that what is the difference between traditional and green project management methodologies? Can you share some views on this, Henry?
Yeah, definitely. The traditional project management methodology and green project management methodology, the key difference is actually the way of working. So
Okay.
yeah, because last time when we do project before sustainability, everyone we are on the same page. We know what to do immediately. So the technology area, everything is just, I mean, the normal life. But right now, can you imagine that every day when we start a project or throughout the life cycle, every single stage, every decision that we make, we need to think of our Mother Earth, our planet.
Yes.
We need to think about carbon. We need to think about this rubbish. So all these kind of things, right, we need to come into our mind and make decision. So this is something that really a big change with or without AI, we need to shift first. so that we really own this sustainability. So for me, it's about the way of working. I call it as a sustainable way of working. It's the one that we need to practice. SWOW, SWOW, SWOW. That's what I practice in this Southeast Asia to all organizations. Let's SWOW together. So I think that's another.
Wow. Wonderful. Yeah, that's very good terminology. Wow. I mean, that's really one terminology which everyone should try to incorporate into their projects. Wonderful. Entokozo, you want to add anything over here about the difference between traditional and green project management? Not Entokozo?
Yes, Brian. Not much, but I do absolutely agree with Henry.
Okay.
And I think with when you compare the two now, because now you have to track sustainability, you have to measure it and incorporate it. So it's that dynamic as well, which you're now looking into when you have incorporated the sustainability bit of it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Maru, I'd like to ask you a question that now what role PMO or ex-PMO play in embedding a culture of sustainability across the project portfolio?
I think it's a great question. Thank you. PMO, I think it's a great participant, a great figure in that, because as we mentioned before, measurement, it's the difference in some cases. I would like to do something, but if I measure it, it's easier to obtain it. And I think if we could generate some measurements, some ideas, at least not as, in some cases, we don't have information. In some companies, in some small companies, it's difficult to measure, but we could generate some ideas, some criteria, measure it, and generate something like a matrix with some attributes and some stages. Like, for example, we are doing nothing about that. We are trying to do that. We are in our way, and we obtain it. And with that, we can measure, generate an alignment with all projects and all people, and at the same time generate this emotional impact and emotional engagement to trying to do that. Because
Yes.
in my experience, I have seen a phenomena that for me it's interesting, because young people or medium people, especially people with high potential, in some cases are interested in sustainability. And if some companies want to retain this kind of people, they generate or generate a great impact, because people are more engaged with responsible companies. And in some cases, these these PMOs that want the best people need to generate this kind of challenge, sustainability challenge, to obtain more engagement.
Great. Thank you, Maru. Okay, so moving towards, I think, last one or two questions. We are running short of time. And if we are having any questions from the audience, maybe let me know. But otherwise, maybe Abdur, I'd like to ask one question to you. What challenges organization might face when transitioning to a sustainable project practices?
Yeah, I will extend Maru's viewpoint, the showing of the data and how the impact is being done. So I've understood, like, first of all, of course, we need to build a step-by-step training program. Like, again, it is not possible without the involvement of HR. I'm actually, what I'm doing is that I'm putting more work on HR rather than us PMs. So, okay. So because the thing is, like, again, because they know people and how to actually get the people working. So the trainings, and then of course, like what type of green tools, the trainings of green tools, like what type of green tools they need to use, start using it, and then impact metrics, the incorporation of that, and then environmental KPIs, and then of course building a whole organizational learning systems, and it can be on different echelons, like it can be on a team members level, then it can be on a project managers level, then of course the program managers, and then portfolio or our executive board. So like these all levels need to have of course, because the teaching and the understanding uh, on the team level will be totally different from the executive level, and you can't give them so much work. And so like these things needs to be done throughout the, again, I'm telling you that we project managers can assist, and how these can be done, but again we need the help of like cross-functional we need a cross-functional help in this one. And ultimately a culture and people acceptance. We need to tell them that uh, we need to tell them through stories, need to tell them what the future looks like either way, and let them decide what they need to do, because you can't push them or dictate them. You can only inspire people to make changes.
Okay, great. So I think one of the challenges which I can think of is and even to extend what Maru said is about now PMO, or maybe I'll say thing whereby now PMO normally looks at generally whether the task is completed or not. But actually the new age PMO, which is maybe called VMO, okay, Value Management Office, which will look at whether the outcome has been achieved or not. Okay, and in this case, in our sustainable project management or green project management, whether the outcome is to maybe achieve some kind of a reduction in the waste, or maybe reduction in the carbon dioxide, whatever. So actually it should be like now having this value management office which will look at outcome, not just output. Okay, and there is obviously a challenge in moving towards that, transitioning or maybe developing the culture. So I mean, yes, it's a difficult, but yeah, that is what I can think of it. Okay, so I think we are now close to end of it. Maybe I'll just ask maybe a last question to Maru, and is about how can we lead the cultural shift to embed sustainability in the project management before now we run out of time.
Excellent question. Thank you. I like culture matters because it's related with emotion, it's related with engagement, real engagement. And in my point of view, I think we could do a lot of things in that way because emotions are free. I mean, in some cases, we don't have money, but we have the possibility to generate that if we are convinced that it's important, because everybody likes transparency. I think a lot of people want to leave a great impact in our planet, and if we are real, we want to generate a real leadership. We can generate this inspirational way of thinking if we know that our impact is forever and we have only one planet. And in my experience, when I share my interest in, for example, reduce our resources or think in generate less waste, it generate the engagement in people. I think it's important to be a model, a role model for others in small things and in great things. And I think only culture could change because the challenge is enormous.
Yes, great. Okay, so this last one to Entokozo, you would like to share something about how to bring the cultural shift?
Yes, absolutely. Like Mario, I love the conversation around culture because it's something which we've experienced in our organization. And when you're bringing a new thing like sustainability, inevitable where there is change, you experience resistance. And when leaders have got buy-in, so you need leadership buy-in. Once leadership has got that buy-in, the culture flows down to your project managers. And then it becomes easy to implement projects, to plan from conception to include those things in your project charter. So culture is very important. It is actually the starting point before we even talk about our business cases, how we're approaching our methodologies. So I think our leaders in different organizations, in different projects, who are leading different projects, I think if they have got the buy-in themselves, if they are practicing the sustainability, it's easier for it to flow through the teams around the project. So I think leaders have a big role to play in driving the change culture into sustainability, into green projects. Thank you.
Okay, very great, great. Thank you very much. And I think we are now at the end of our panel discussion. And maybe I'd like to just summarize what we have gone through or discussed today. So we started with the sustainability. Sustainability means in the project management to ensure that now we use a sustainable materials, sustainable practices, sustainable people, processes, etc. We discuss about how to we discuss about the single bottom line, which is just a profit. We also discuss about the triple bottom line, which is to keep people, planet, and processes into the picture and try to address that. Obviously nowadays it is a one step ahead. It's a quadruple bottom line which is also considered, which is like passion also, which is considered. But we discuss about this triple bottom line. We discuss about green initiatives in the project planning and execution. We discuss that how can we bring the change. We also discuss about what are the traditional metrics, something like metrics we consider as transparency, or maybe how much um, uh, quantitative reduction in the waste, or maybe in the carbon dioxide, right? We also discuss about difference between traditional and green project management methodologies. And one good word which I heard from Henry today learned is ways of working and sustainable ways of working. So wow versus SWOW. So that is wonderful terminology, and obviously I'll keep in mind all the time. And we also discuss about how to manage the sustainability in the resource constrained environments. We also discuss about how to convince the stakeholders, particularly you use the data-driven metrics to show it to stakeholders that we should go the sustainable way. We should also focus on the local procurement. We should also see that there is a economic prosperity which comes into the picture while you are executing the project, and not just the company's profit. We also discuss about what role PMO can play, and we also explained that now VMO should be more, I think, relevant in today's environment. That is a value management office, which will focus on the outcome and not just output. And we also discuss about now how to bring the cultural shift now or mindset change in for the sustainability. So we discuss on the variety of topics, and I'm really grateful to all the panelists for bringing the wonderful insights, views, and some learnings. I'm sure, I think all the attendees will carry a lot of I think knowledge from this, and I'm grateful to all of them. Thank you very much. Maybe over to Ashfaq.
Thank you, Viren. Thank you so much. You're able to hear me,
Yes,
Viren?
yes, yes.
Okay, good. Good. Thank you so much. I think the panel discussion went on very well after following up with Lucila's presentation on the keynote. So we connected very well on those points. So that was a good connect. And thank you, Viren, for driving this through, and all the panelists who were able to answer questions, and the audience who many of our audience have asked questions which we are able to answer. So I'm just, we're moving on to the next segment of this event. Let me just share my screen. Let me just share my screen again. Okay. We have a selected quote for today. Sustainability is a cornerstone of modern project management, influencing decision-making processes and redefining success metrics. Sustainability is by Mohammad Najib from Pakistan. Sustainability is a cornerstone of modern project management, influencing decision-making processes and redefining success. Moving on to the next segment, the exchange effect today, we had close to 400 members who joined, and this is this pie chart for the distribution. And yes, from here is the feedback for here is the screen to capture feedback from all our audience and participants. So if you can just quickly scan the QR code and help us with your feedback. We would like to hear from you what you liked, what we lagged, and what is it that you are looking forward in the upcoming events. If you can share some details here, it will be really helpful for us to make those events fruitful for all of us. I'll just hold on here for a few more seconds. PDU codes will be sent to you in email for all those who have attended the event today. A PDU code will be sent by email. So moving on to the next one here, we have the QR code for the next event, which is on 19th of September, same time, virtual. And the topic we have selected is AI and machine learning in project management. AI and machine learning in project management. And we have identified chapters from Bangladesh, Mongolia, Poland, Gias, Cameroon, and Town. So these are the 6 panelists that you will get a chance to listen to. And the registration link and also the QR code is present on screen. I'd stop here for a few seconds and request all to just scan it so that you can have a early registration on that event. And I also request all of you to join early so that you don't you get a chance to attend the event and don't have a capacity full error message. I think with this we will a few points related to the administration. These events are recorded and saved on the chapter's website, the PMI Mumbai chapter's website. So next time onwards, I will share the link where the videos are captured. These videos are also available on YouTube for your future reference. Because I saw a message in the group saying that there are a lot of information in the keynote session which they will want to go through. So these videos will be available for your reference later, probably in a day or two, and you can go through it. I think that with that we come to an end of this program, and thank you all for attending. Thank you to the audience. Thank you to the participants, and I'm sure you all got a chance to learn something new today, and looking forward for another event next month. Thank you all, and all the very best. Have a good rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Bye.
day.